Okay guys, so we are going to do your class of 2024 plaque on CorelDRAW. So here's your CorelDRAW icon. Double click that. You're going to skip when it asks you about your account. And you are going to do a new, so you can do a couple ways. You could do file and then new, okay? Or you can just hit, there's also a new document right there, or you can hit this little square. Now when this comes up, yours might not come up 12 inch by 12 inch. So hit OK. You might want to title it right away. Put your first name and put Plaque, P-L-A-Q-U-E. So I'm going to put name Plaque. Name Plaque. Okay, so we hit OK. So the first thing you're going to do is use the text button. So click on the text button, click on the paper. Do not draw a text box because text boxes are bad. All right, I'm going to delete. Let me always change back to the pick tool, the regular arrow. I'm deleting my text box. I'm clicking the text again, and then I'm clicking on the paper, and I'm just going to write name. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to the pick tool. Always go back to the pick tool, the arrow. I'm going to change this to about 150. That seems to be about the right size. Okay, so now I am going to X out the color. So way over here, I think you can see it. Yeah, above the color strip, you're going to put an X. Then you right click. That means your right finger, left finger, right finger. Right click on red. Now your name will be outlined. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, let's pick a different font. Don't everybody use Arial. Now, for this one where it's going to be cutting out, that could still work. You don't want anything too crazy because you remember that it's cutting these letters out. I wouldn't do the script ones because they're already touching the other letters. So let me just, I even like Sago print, so that's what I'm using. So then we're also going to type, and we're going to click, not make a text box, class of 2024. I'm going to switch back to the pick tool. I'm going to also make that Sago print, just because I like it. Now, this is going to end up going through the middle of your name, as you could see probably on the assignment. So I'm going to stretch it out a bit because I want it to be readable. So that's about the center. So once you have that, this is important. You're going to hold the control button down and hit C. That's for copy. Hit the control button and hit V. That's for paste. It looks like nothing happens, but if I drag this, I now have 2. All right, I'm going to let you in on a few other secrets. At the top of mine, if you could see that, but it says 56% right now. I have a couple choices. I could put 2-page, and it didn't work. 2-page, maybe not. All right, so I'm going to put 2-fit, and that's going to bring up everything I have on screen to a better size. Now, I'm going to put one of these here. That looks about right. Now, what's great about this name is it has an E in it, which will need to be fixed over here. If not, this whole inside of this E will drop away when it gets cut. Okay, so on your CorelDRAW, under Help, hints may not be checked. Okay, so that brings up this box. You saw this box change over here. Underneath the word hints, if you don't have any tools yet, there'll be a little circle. Mine is, let me unclick some of these. Let's see. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of my circle. I'm going to unclick everything real quick so you can see what it's going to look like for you. And then you kind of have to click off of it. Okay, this is what yours will look like if it's the first time. There's hints, and then there's this little circle plus sign. So we're going to click that. We're looking for the contour button. Okay, now you have to click back off of that so we can see it. This is the contour tool right here. Now, we're going to contour, which means we're going to outline the class of 2024 to make the space for our other class of 2024 to move in. Now, if this ever does this, you see I double clicked and now there's an A next to my tool. It's on text, and I don't want it on text. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to click back onto this one. Very important, there's 3 little squares right here. This middle one wants it to contour on the inside. We want it to contour on the outside. Now, I can just hit apply with that 0.1 there. It's kind of large, so I'm going to kick that down to maybe 0.8. You can see it get a little smaller. So you kind of are looking at the rest of your name to see what you can see, maybe even one more. So I'm going to use that. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is use, and I'm seeing that this kind of moved over. This is called the the Smart Fill tool. Sorry. So underneath the bucket is another bucket with a line. So you're going to click on that. And then you have to click inside each part of the letter. Now if I click here, bad. Don't do that. So undo that. You want to stay inside the letter A and fill in all the parts. And we're even going to do the E, even though, well, in the end, even if nothing we're touching it, even if you had 5 more letters, do it all. Okay, next step, go back to the pick tool. Always go back to the pick tool. Did it go on the pick tool? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go back and get that class of 2024, and I'm going to pull it away. I'm going to delete it. We only needed it to make the space to put this one back in. Now, there's these red lines showing through. You're going to grab one of the letters with the red lines, and your whole name's going to come out. You're going to delete it. Okay, we only have a few more steps. So then you're going to highlight your whole name. By highlight, I mean click and hold your pick tool and draw this huge box and make sure you get everything in there. So your whole name is now what we call highlighted. So I'm going back over here. I'm going to do an X above that black color. And then I don't have to do red, but notice here where this pen tip is, okay? That says 0.5. We need this to get cut out. And on Corel Draw, for things to get cut out, it would have to be a hairline. So we're clicking on that. Now, on the class of 2024, we're gonna put this back here. You can use your arrow keys to move it around where it should be. That looks like where it should be. Also here on your toolbar, this is good to use for a lot of things, but hit the plus sign, hit object properties. Okay, so now make sure it's on the letter A, because if it's not on the letter A, it'll look totally different. So on the letter A, we want to make sure that this does not say hairline, because it would cut. And if you used a real thin class of 2024 font, you could make that 0.5. We don't need it on this one, so I'm going to switch back to none. Okay, so that is also make sure uniform fill says uniform fill on the first part. That will make it show up. This is going to get etched, not cut. The other letters will get cut. So now I'm going to scroll out a little bit. We're going to go to the square rectangle tool. So I'm going to make it really close to my name. You can move it around if you need to. Now again, very important, this says 0.5. We're going to switch that to hairline because we want the box to cut out. Now your last thing is you could pick one of these rounded corners, dented in, or flat. But you're not really going to see anything happen because the rounded one is picked until you hit this up arrow and hit it kind of a lot. Now I'm going to do it a lot so you guys can see. So now I'm up to like 0.3. So if you just want to type in 0.3, you can. So I can make them scalloped like this or just flat. Okay, I'm going to go back to round. Okay, so this is now finished. So to turn it in, you could select the whole thing, and while you're hovering over it, right click, and you can just copy, and then you can go to Google Classroom, pull up this assignment, and paste it. But what we need to do, I have this flash drive that looks like this. You put this in one of the USB ports, and you're going to do File, Save As. The screen's going to pop up. Now, this probably will look more like this. The name of this flash drive, now if I'm using a different one next time, it could be different, is Region CD. And you can see there's all kinds of kids' plaques on here. And then I have name plaque, make sure whatever your name is. So if your first name is Evan, then you put Evan. And the plaque is written here. And then you just click on Save. And then it will be on the flash drive, and you can take the flash drive out and give it back to me. Okay, so I don't need to save that on there. So that will give you a close-up. Oh, by the way, if you want to use the hand tool, you can press down on the wheel. Okay, I'm pressing down, and my little arrow turns into a hand, and now I can move stuff around. And then you can scroll in and out to zoom. And then, like, again, I'm pressing down on the little scroll wheel on my mouse, and I can move this around when I hold it. Okay, so that's what that looks like. And that's it.